A killer stalks London's fog in 1888. Evidence disappears, suspects multiply, but the police quietly surrender. Decades later, a Hollywood starlet is found butchered, and the leads flood in. Yet nothing sticks. 4 legendary murders, 4 abandoned investigations. Why did authorities give up, and what secrets are lost forever? The answer begins in the shadows of Victorian London. On August 31st, 1888, a constable discovered the mutilated body of Mary Ann Nichols in a dark Whitechapel alley. Over the next 10 weeks, 4 more women, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, were killed in the same brutal fashion. The murders gripped London, and the newly formed Criminal Investigation Department threw every available man onto the case. Inspectors like Frederick Aberline walked the labyrinth of Whitechapel's alleys night after night, questioning anyone who might have seen or heard something. More than 2,000 interviews were logged. Hundreds of suspects were named. Still, the killer slipped away. Physical evidence was gathered with care by Victorian standards, but the science was primitive. Catherine Eddowes' bloodied apron was found blocks from the murder scene, stained and lying beneath a message scrawled in chalk. Fearing riots, the police had it washed before tests could be done. At the mortuary, Mary Jane Kelly's clothing and even her organs were inventoried, but over the years these items vanished from records, destroyed or misplaced, lost to time. No fingerprints, no photographs, no forensic trail. The evidence disappeared. Jurisdictional lines further complicated the hunt. Metropolitan Police and City of London officers conducted parallel investigations, rarely sharing findings. As the months passed and leads dried up, the case grew colder. By 1892, with no arrests and no new evidence, the official inquiry faded into the archives. The Whitechapel murders became a symbol of what happens when evidence slips through the cracks and police resources are stretched beyond their limits. January 15, 1947. A mother out for a walk in Los Angeles stumbles onto a body in a vacant lot. The victim is Elizabeth Short, just 22, her remains bisected and carefully arranged. The press dubs her the Black Dahlia, and within hours, the story explodes across headlines. Reporters swarm Leimert Park, pushing past police lines, scribbling details and snapping photos before detectives can secure the scene. Evidence is trampled, souvenirs pocketed by onlookers. The LAPD sets up a command post, but the damage is done. Over the next weeks, the department is inundated. 60,000 tips flood in, most from people hoping for a headline. False confessions pour in by the dozens, clogging up interview rooms and distracting detectives from real leads. The Los Angeles Times and the Hearst papers publish leaked autopsy details and unverified witness claims, sometimes before police can confirm them. Witnesses change their stories, pressured by the glare of flashbulbs and the promise of reward money. Key evidence, including Elizabeth's handbag and shoes, are found blocks away. But by then, the chain of custody is already broken. Logs are incomplete, fingerprints smudged. The investigation sprawls across the city, but every promising lead collapses under the weight of rumor and speculation. By 1949, the case file is thick with dead ends. The Black Dahlia murder drifts into infamy, undone not just by a careful killer, but by a city unable to separate fact from frenzy. A blue envelope arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle in August 1969, stamped with a symbol that soon becomes infamous. Inside, a cipher, 3 blocks of coded text, and a letter claiming responsibility for 2 young lovers shot dead on Lake Herman Road. Over the next year, more letters follow. Each one taunts police, threatens new victims, and demands front-page attention. Reporters scramble to decode the ciphers, while detectives from Vallejo, Napa, and San Francisco pore over every word. But the killer's reach crosses city and county lines, and no single agency takes control. Each department keeps its own files, chases its own leads, and analyzes the ciphers separately. A Chronicle investigator working late nights alongside police watches as evidence slips through the cracks. Partial fingerprints from Paul Stein's taxicab sit unmatched, while a palm print from a Napa payphone never links back to a suspect. Letters are passed from hand to hand, sometimes without gloves, contaminating any hope for DNA. Sketches based on scattered witness accounts circulate, but no arrest follows. By 1971, the trail is already cold. The Zodiac's ciphers remain partly unsolved, and the fractured investigation leaves families with more questions than answers. The case file thickens, but the killer's identity stays locked behind a wall of secrecy and missed connections. September 7th, 1996. Crowds pour out of the MGM Grand after the Tyson fight, but in one corner of the casino lobby, a fight breaks out. Tupac Shakur and his entourage confront Orlando Anderson, a known gang associate. Security cameras catch the scuffle, but by the time police arrive, both groups have scattered. Less than an hour later, Tupac rides in a black BMW with Suge Knight, heading east on Flamingo Road. At 11:22 p.m., a white Cadillac pulls up alongside them. Shots ring out. Tupac is hit 4 times. The BMW lurches forward, tires shredded, as Suge tries to escape the chaos. Police respond within minutes, but the shooters vanish into the night. Detectives work through the night, collecting shell casings and interviewing witnesses, but almost no one is willing to talk. The code of silence runs deep. Some witnesses are afraid, others simply refuse. One member of Tupac's entourage who claimed to know the shooter is killed before he can give a statement. The MGM fight video is logged as evidence, but connections to the drive-by remain unproven. By early 1997, with leads exhausted and witnesses silent, the Las Vegas police mark the case inactive. A retired detective later recalls, "You couldn't force people to talk. The streets made their own rules." The file sits dormant, a casualty of intimidation, gang politics, and a city unwilling or unable to break the silence. Every unsolved case leaves a silence where answers should be. Today, that silence grows. Justice delayed is justice denied, and the questions left behind never truly disappear.